you doing? This is Ivan from Freedom from the Known. Today I just want to share a quick quote with you guys. It's by Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. And that's by Marcus Aurelius. The reason I like this quote is because of just all the truth to it that has in it. In this world that we live in, that we inhabit in our bodies, how we perceive and how we see the world, it all depends on how we interpret our environment through our five senses. And I think we often forget that we are the cause and the source to how we see the world. Like if an accident happens, in front of a group of people, everybody's going to have their own interpretation of it, and some people have a preference for one modality over the other. Some people are more visually oriented. Some people are more auditory, some more kinesthetic. So when those people recollect the event that this objective event that just happened in front of everybody's going to have their own unique take on it. But everybody's going to think that whatever testimony they give is the correct one, is the most accurate, because they're like, I just saw it with my own eyes. Everybody, you saw it, right? Everybody thinks and assumes that they see the same thing when that's not true. And I just think in our day-to-day lives, we often forget how much we are driven by unconscious habits. Most of us live our lives rather unconsciously. But that's the first step to becoming more conscious and living a conscious life, is to see how unconscious you are living. So the more you learn to be more self-aware, and the more you learn to observe yourself in the moment and practice proper self-observation, the more you learn to see some of these habits, some of these patterns that you have. And then you can see how they are dictating how you experience your environment. And if it's not to your liking, you can start to see how you can try to change it, and you can start to see in which ways and in how, see the reasons for how you're seeing an event in a particular way. And then you can start to develop a different attitude if that's what you feel that you need to do to have a better experience. Because if you start to develop an attitude, your attitudes determine how you perceive the world. Because like I said earlier, a lot of us usually interpret our external environment automatically. It happens unconsciously for many of us. And if you start to change your attitude, it will help you stay ahead of some of these reactions, your previous old reactions, if you start to develop a new attitude. Because for a lot of us, a lot of times we won't realize something until after we've gone through the event. Like if I just had a road rage incident, after I just calmed down, I can see, oh my God, why did I react like that? Like it wasn't even a big deal, But it's just your old conditioning that is dictating how you react in the moment. And a reaction, if you really study reactions, you see that it's a mechanical, artificial thing. So, it's basically being like an organic robot. So if you want to change that and become more conscious, you need to start becoming aware of all these patterns that you have. And then, from the quote that I just shared with you, its main significance is to show you that you are the source, you are the cause. So when you don't like the circumstances that you find yourself in, don't blame the external circumstances. It is what it is. But that's how you can use life as your teacher. Every circumstance, everything that you encounter in your daily life, you can use it as a reflection to help you uncover certain aspects of you that you're not aware of, that you're unconscious of. So next time, instead of blaming and being mad at something that happens, really learn to suspend judgment. Really try to be alert and aware, and just observe that inner reaction, and try to see, how can I learn from this? Like, what in me, because it exists inside you, or else you wouldn't be having this reaction. And then see if it serves you or doesn't serve you. And the more and more that you become aware of these certain things, and the more consciousness that you shine on these things, the more it's gonna that habit is gonna drop away on its own. The reason it exists is because you're unconscious of it. Someone that has the tendency to always be late, when you tell them, they're late all the time, if they have a psychological buffer that allows them to keep their image intact of being a person that's timely, if they actually believe that they're a timely person, it's going to keep them from seeing that they're actually not. You're always late, So that's why, the way that we think we are and the way that other people see us, is sometimes, a lot of times, it's a big mismatch, because we learn to become blind. We have all these blind spots that we don't see anymore, psychological blind spots. And the reason that a lot of times our friends and our family are able to offer valuable advice is because they're objective. They have distance between you, so they can offer a clear assessment of something. So when you tell somebody, but if you learn to become inwardly flexible, and you learn to not be as reactive, and become more and more conscious and aware, then you can see these patterns operating within you, and they'll start to lose their hold on you. And that's how you can start changing deeply ingrained patterns. Also, this quote that I have, it's from a post that I wrote a long time ago. The post was, what was the title? Let me check here. It was How to Define Your Life's Purpose Based on Your Type. Basically how I was saying is that, your attitude is largely responsible how you shape your life. The certain attitudes that you have will determine how you interact with your environment, which will then create your future. So that's why I think, it's very important that you become aware of these things, because, I think a lot of us feel that we may be aimlessly going through life. And that's why in the post I wrote that it's important to create a life aim, your main long-lasting aim in life, something that's going to give you direction. And to help you do that, in the post I wrote about that, basically with people, we can categorize them into 3 types to help you create your life purpose. The first type is doing. The 3 types are doing, knowing, and becoming. So if your purpose lies in doing, what do you propose to do in your life? What is it that you want to do? And, as an exercise, you can think about that this is the last day of your life. You only have one day. This is your last day on earth. Try to really imagine that this is it. And then you look back on your life and all the things you've done. And if you accomplish what you set out to do, could you die a happy man? So, as an exercise, really try and figure out what is it that you need to do in order for you to die happy. So you can use this life aim as a way to steer you through life. The other aim is related to knowing. Okay, so you need to ask yourself explicitly, what is it that you wish to know? This may be still unknown to yourself. But if you are this type of person, you know that you need to know such and such in order to die happily. As an example, I used Einstein. He had a tremendous scale of thinking. For Einstein, he formulated the aim that he wanted to know the thoughts of God. So just to show you what kind of scale of thinking that he had, this is what he wanted to know to die a happy man. And if your aim is in knowing, this type of person is far rarer than the first, than doing. Most people will be happy if they accomplish a lot of the things they wanted to do. If they wanted to master 10 languages, if they wanted to travel the whole world. Okay, now the third type is if your happiness lies in becoming something. And this is the hardest aim to formulate, because it requires that you learn to get a more objective view of yourself, free of any of these illusions, and that, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these blind spots that we have, and so when you learn to get an objective look, free of all your illusions, you can then see what potentialities that you possess, and then you can know what is it that you need to do, or not to do, but then that for you to become, you need to actualize these potentialities. And in actualizing these potentialities, you have accomplished your life's aim. So yeah, maybe you have no passion to do or to know, but do you have any to become? And what is it that you wish to be? This is the rarest type. So yeah, there you go. I just felt compelled to just make this video. I'm thinking I'm going to start making some more YouTube videos, and usually I think what I want to do is just share an idea every day, and just give my commentary on it, just some quick thoughts on it, to hopefully help you have an idea to work with for the day, and hopefully helps you see something for yourself that you can use in your life to help you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to read the post where I got this quote from, and some of my other thoughts on what I was just talking about doing, becoming, knowing, just check it out. I'll put the link down below, and hope you have a nice day.